Hi, in this tutorial we'll look at a few ways to make the best use of the camera and subject pins to get them positioned exactly where you need them, and also to make the most use of your saved locations. I'm going to pick up where we left off in the previous part of the tutorial with the camera set in London and the subject roughly positioned to the east, but for this tutorial we'll go somewhere more specific. So I'm going to search for one of my favorite places in the northeast of England, Bamborough Castle. So I'll search for Bamborough. There it is. I'm not going to save it for now, but I'll show you how to save things a little bit later. So there is the town of Bamborough, there's the castle, just up there. If I switch to the hybrid map, you'll get a better sense of what you're looking at. So a few different ways in which to move these pins around. The most simple is you can pan the map, and then you can drop the camera back in the center of the map. So you'll see move the map, drop in the center, move the map, drop in the center. The next button here allows you to swap the camera and subject positions. Simple as that, back and forth. So one thing you could do, what I'll do here is I'll move the castle to the center, I'll put the camera in the center, then I'll swap. So the subject is now right on Bamborough Castle. So that's one approach. The other approach is your typical drag and drop, where you can push and hold the pin, the map moves, I can then drag the subject, or rather the camera, up here to the beach, which is the classic shot from the north looking down at Bamborough, and there I'm set up on the castle. One thing you can do with two fingers on the map is press drag and hold with two fingers, and it moves the map into a tilted view, which can be quite nice to see a little bit better what's happening in some perspective view. So what I might want to do now is to save the position of Bamborough Castle, as it's a location I'm likely to come back to. So to do that, I can come to the Locations button here on the toolbar, click plus. I want to add the subject position rather than the camera position, so I'll click Subject. It gives the default name of the nearest address it can find to that position, but I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to change that to Bamborough Castle. There we go. And I'll save that. And there it is in our saved locations list. Now one thing you may also want to do is to reposition one of the pins to one of your saved locations. Now just for the sake of illustration, I'm going to move the subject pin off to the beach here. If I go back here and click Bamborough Castle, by default it will put the camera to that location. So you can see it'll do that, which is fine. Let me now swap. And I'll put this back here. Now let's say when I move this off to the beach once more, I want to just put the subject directly on the castle. How can I do that? You can do that with a long press on the location. So push and hold and let go after a second, and then it'll pop up this menu and say use location for camera position or subject position. We want subject position, so it does that. Zooms in rather enthusiastically, but there it is. The subject is dropped in the middle of the castle, and I can zoom back out if I can remember how to do that on the simulator here, which I can't. There we go. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap. We looked at recentering the camera pin, swapping the camera and the subject pin, adding a location, and you can choose whether that's the camera or the subject that you add, and then restoring a location from saved. You can click once and it will place the camera there. You can push and hold and it will give you the choice of putting the camera or the subject to that saved location. Hope that's been useful, and hope you enjoy using the app.